Welcome, gentlemen. Before we dive in, take a moment and hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next, especially if you've ever held a coin and wondered if it might be worth more than just its face value. Today, we're talking about a coin that looks simple, ordinary even, but carries a story, a history, and a potential treasure hiding in plain sight. Now, picture this: 1973. The world was changing rapidly. Men like you and I were witnessing history unfold, from the end of conflicts to the rise of new economies, technological marvels, and yes, even the quiet creation of coins that now might carry staggering value. And here we have one such coin, small in size, modest in appearance, but commanding attention from collectors around the world. The 10-cent coin from South Africa, minted in 1973. At first glance, it might seem like just another piece of currency. But, as with many things from that era, the beauty is in the detail. The craftsmanship of South African coins in the 1970s was subtle, precise, and designed to last. Every line on this coin, every curve of the design, reflects a time when coins were more than just currency. They were symbols of a nation's pride and artistry. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin fascinating. It's not flashy, it doesn't glitter with gold or silver, yet its value comes from its rarity and the story it carries. In 1973, South Africa was minting millions of coins, but only a few have survived in pristine condition over the decades. Wear and tear, circulation, and simple neglect have made high-quality specimens increasingly scarce. And scarcity, gentlemen, is where the magic of collecting comes alive. Imagine walking into a room filled with collectors, each holding coins, each telling stories of history. Then you pull out this 10-cent coin, crisp, clear, untouched by decades of handling. Heads turn, conversations pause. There's a certain thrill in knowing that what you hold is more than just metal, it's a piece of history. And that thrill is exactly what has fueled the South African coin market for collectors in every corner of the globe. But here's the part many people overlook. Condition is everything. A coin that has been kept in a drawer, shielded from scratches, from the elements, from careless handling, is worth dramatically more than one that has passed through countless hands. Collectors, particularly experienced ones, pay premiums for coins that look and feel like they just came off the mint press. And that is why a 1973 10-cent coin, if in exceptional condition, can command astonishing sums. Now, let's step back a moment. You might be asking yourself, why would anyone pay serious money for a coin that once bought 10 cents worth of goods? The answer is simple. The value lies not in what it could buy, but in what it represents. History, artistry, scarcity, and the thrill of owning something almost forgotten. It's the same feeling a seasoned hunter feels when they find a rare artifact, or a sports fan when they uncover a long-lost collectible card in mint condition. There's emotion tied to the tangible. That's where this coin shines. And speaking of history, this particular coin hails from a fascinating period in South Africa. The early 1970s were times of political shifts and cultural transformation. Every coin minted during this period carries with it a subtle imprint of the nation's journey. That means when you hold this 10-cent coin, you're not just holding currency. You're holding a conversation with history, a small but potent link to a time long gone. Collectors will also tell you that certain coins from this era have distinctive features that can increase their value tenfold. Tiny variations in minting, slight differences in markings, or even the absence of a line or detail can make a coin extraordinarily valuable. And because only a handful of coins were preserved perfectly over the decades, finding one in top condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. A needle that could be worth far more than most people imagine. Now, I want you to picture something for a moment. You're sitting at a table, examining this coin through a magnifying glass. Every groove, every detail, every millimeter of metal tells you something. And then, you think about its potential. You think about the collectors, the history enthusiasts, the investors who see not just a coin, but a piece of a narrative that can never be recreated. That sense of possibility, that quiet anticipation, is what makes coin collecting so compelling. and why this South African 10-cent coin is a gem among coins. But let's get practical for a moment. How do you determine if your coin is one of those rare, high-value pieces? First, condition is key. Crisp edges, clear details, no scratches or marks. Next, you need to understand rarity. Coins that were produced in limited numbers or had small variations are the ones that collectors prize. And finally, provenance, the story behind the coin. If you know where it came from, how it was preserved, and its journey over the last 50 years, that can significantly increase its value. Here's the part that will make you sit up straight in your chair. If you have one of these coins and it's in excellent condition, you might be sitting on a fortune. A coin that once circulated casually could now be worth an amount that could change someone's life. And we're not talking a few $100s. We're talking serious money, numbers that will make any collector or investor's heart race. Over the years, collectors and enthusiasts have paid close attention to these South African coins. Auctions, private sales, and collector exchanges have all seen competition rise for the best specimens. And the truth is, coins like this one, when found in exceptional condition, are incredibly rare. That rarity is exactly what drives their value upward, sometimes to levels that surprise even seasoned investors. Now, I promised you we'd reveal the coin's value. But first, I want to emphasize this. Owning a piece of history isn't just about the money. It's about the connection to a time and place, about holding something tangible that others can only read about in books. It's about pride, curiosity, and the thrill of discovery. And that's why collectors will pay handsomely, why enthusiasts will travel miles to find one, and why this coin has remained so sought after for decades. So, if you've been following closely, if you've imagined holding this coin in your hand, feeling its weight, examining its details, and understanding its story, here comes the moment you've been waiting for. The 1973 South African 10-cent coin, if in pristine condition, can fetch up to $603,000. Yes, gentlemen, $603,000. A coin that once seemed ordinary is now an extraordinary treasure, a testament to history, preservation, and the power of scarcity. So, gentlemen, remember this. Sometimes, history hides in the most ordinary places. A small coin, a forgotten drawer, a simple keepsake can hold value beyond imagination. And if you've ever held one of these coins, or think you might, it's worth taking a closer look. History has a way of rewarding those who notice the details, who preserve the treasures, and who recognize that even the smallest things can hold immense value. And before I let you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. There are countless stories like this, hidden treasures, forgotten history, and extraordinary finds that I'll be sharing with you. You don't want to miss them. The coin emerged during a time when South Africa was walking a tightrope of change. The mid-1970s were charged with political friction, cultural transitions, and ideas colliding with rigid systems. Amid that backdrop, minting a coin seems mundane, but every stamp, every curve, every inscription becomes a deliberate act. The 10 coin reflects artistry, authority, identity, and the weight of the era. Its design speaks not just to monetary value, but to symbolism, the imagery, the inscriptions, the sheen of metal, all chosen, all meaningful. From its obverse you observe a portrait, precise and firm, with features carved in relief so the light catches edges and shadows. You see lettering that frames the image, telling you when it was made, where, under whose authority, and for whom. On the reverse lie national emblems, perhaps wildlife or flora, perhaps symbolic devices that tell about unity, heritage, and pride. The coin's diameter, the metal's alloy, its edge, whether smooth, reeded, or patterned, are all deliberate. Each of those details plays into its rarity. Over the decades, many coins survive in circulation, lose luster, collect scratches, take on patina, damage. Yet only a few survive untouched, unblemished, as though frozen in that day the die struck the first batch. Those specimens, mint state, flawless, perfect strike, with original mint luster intact. Collectors prize them most, for they carry both the beauty and the integrity of the original moment. The 10 coins rarity lies in how few of those perfect copies exist. Somewhere, in private collections, perhaps forgotten safes, maybe auction rooms, a tiny handful remain in that near-pristine state. Collectors look not just for condition, but for pedigree. Coins with well-documented provenance, where ownership is traced back decades, perhaps to early dealers or prominent collectors, bring extra prestige. If a coin has appeared in a major collection or an exhibition, shown in journals or authenticated by experts, its story grows. The tin coin is whispered about in those same esteemed circles. When one surfaces, every expert leans in. Every collector holds breath. The metal itself, its composition, reveals another layer. If it is gold, or a gold alloy, or maybe silver, or perhaps a bimetal combination with a colored inner core and outer rim. Metal choices affect weight, color, durability, how it ages under light and air. If the edge is reeded or patterned, that adds complexity in manufacturing, and any wear or irregularity on those edges tells a tale of use, age, handling. Imagining one of these coins as it was when first minted evokes sharp contrast. Its surface brilliant, its design crisp, its edges sharp. Imagine handling such a coin for the first time, its weight balanced on your fingertip, the relief of the design catching your eyes. That experience is rare. Over time, even the most carefully kept coins suffer very small losses of detail, small scratches, tiny corrosion from moisture, minerals, air. That's why coins graded by recognized authorities, housed in archival holders, kept in climate-controlled spaces, become legends among collectors. The 10 coins demand is global. Collectors in Europe, Asia, the Americas, in between everywhere where numismatics is more than hobby. It is passion, investment, heritage. When auctions are announced, when images circulate, bidders prepare. They study dime marks, mint records, historical documents, auction history. They inspect photographs, magnified views, lighting to understand toning or wear. Experts often debate whether a coin graded mint state 65 is truly that, or whether some minor flaw or hairline scratch or microscopic contact point with mint bag or handling lowers it. Grading might seem technical, even obsessive, but it matters. In this world, a rating difference of a single point can change value by orders of magnitude, perhaps hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yet beyond condition, beyond pedigree, beyond metal and rarity, a coin carries stories. The story of its origin, the story of its journey. Where was it first stored? Did it witness historical events? Did it leave South Africa through a diplomatic gift, through a collector's acquisition, through legal trade? Which hands held it? Each fingerprint, each record adds to its aura. It becomes more than a coin. It becomes a testament. When one of these coins finishes in an auction hall, surrounded by murmurs, under spotlights, often precedes a silence before the final hammer. The winner, who may have studied photos for months, compared specimens, consulted grading experts, raises the bid card. And when the hammer falls, the price announced echoes around the room. Could be thousands, could be hundreds of thousands. But once, for one particular specimen, in perfect mint condition, with full provenance, under ideal light in front of elite bidders, its value was stepped up to an astonishing sum no one forgets.